The contribution of business in mitigating climate change will be central to the global response to global warming. Our jobs, our economic activities, the products we buy, the services we purchase, the factories, the industries, all of them are part of a private sector reality that needs to be in the leadership role in addressing climate change. So the role of entrepreneurs, of CEOs, of employees, of corporations will be central to our capacity to reduce greenhouse gas emissions on our planet. Climate change and global warming is also a challenge to the short-term profit-led perspective under which many businesses have to operate today. Essentially, the future will be very different to today's reality, and that also affects business very directly. We need to think in terms of a different world in which products and services will be offered to societies and to markets tomorrow. Therefore, through climate change, businesses also need to rethink their timeline and also the markets of tomorrow, including consumer preferences, and ultimately the role that business will play in either being part of the solution to global warming or part of the problem that is making it worse. Thus, climate change really is a challenge to long-term strategies for business. In our global economy today, it is an illusion to think that markets alone can solve all our problems, particularly when it comes to public policy arenas, where we need to think sometimes beyond the immediate objectives of a corporation or its shareholders. The market economy is essentially based on the principle that we have public regulation for the benefit of the common good, or indeed public goods, but we also have the entrepreneurial ability to innovate and to drive change. The markets of tomorrow will in part be driven by the kind of public preferences that our legislation, our governments, our parliaments will put into place today. They will be the guide that business will use to think about the products and services that it will offer tomorrow. Therefore, it is not only just up to business, it is not just only up to the market to develop a response to global warming. And business is looking today, both at the national level but also at the international level, at the norms, the standards and the regulatory frameworks that will allow it to plan for a longer-term future. Uncertainty and risks are also inhibitions to innovation and investments. Therefore, the interface between public policymakers and entrepreneurs in the private sector is critical to accelerating our response to global warming. Bali has become the critical moment in which the international community will either embark upon a path of negotiating a follow-up agreement to the Kyoto Protocol, or will indeed take a step back from having a multilateral platform and the collective capacity to address global warming. If negotiations in Bali on issues such as mitigation, adaptation, technology and finance do not begin in earnest, then I think the world will really be in trouble, because taking the results and the recommendations of the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change seriously, we have about 10 to 15 years in which to significantly change direction, in which to initiate a response that begins to take greenhouse gases out of our atmosphere. If Bali cannot provide us with the confidence and the trust amongst the 190 odd nations to walk down that path together, then truly our response as a global community is in trouble.